Hello there, I believe you're well. Today, let's just dive in and talk about something that is very important, especially in the days that you are living in that are full of chaos. This is how the system of this world operate, and especially in the political world. That is what I call the corrupt cycle: chaos, solution, and private gain. A corrupt government may create chaos only to then present itself as the indispensable source of solution. It is dark but recognizable pattern in political discourse and governance. This strategy exploits the public's needs of stability, turning manufactured crises into opportunities for illicit private enrichment, often through the misuse of government tenders and essential public infrastructure. Here is what they do: manufacturing scarcity. Like the water tender scam, one of the most insidious forms of this corruption involves manipulation crucial public services such as water supply system. A truly cynical corruption model doesn't just skim money from maintenance budgets. It might deliberately damage or neglect existing water infrastructure, pipes, reservoirs, pumping stations to induce state of water scarcity or contamination. This creates a crisis that demands an immediate, large-scale, and expensive fix because it created chaos. Citizens, when they face the dry taps, contaminated water, and a growing health scare, and the government will come up with so-called solution, but they created chaos for a reason. Awards lucrative emergency supply tenders or massive reconstruction contracts. There is the gain coming in. These tenders are not awarded transparently. They go to political connected people or firms or companies, often owned by the very same officials or their associates who profit handsomely on the crisis, which they were instrumentally created it. They are paid to fix a problem that they benefited from creating it. The results: public service that is consistently underperforming, over budget, and perpetually in crisis, while a select few privately accrue immense wealth. One other thing they do is engineering inefficiency. The railway sabotage can be observed in the deliberate degradation of national transport infrastructure such as railway lines. If corrupt interests are tied to road freight companies operating large commercial trucks, the efficiency of the railway becomes a threat to their profits. Here is the chaos comes in. Key railway lines suffer from unexplained delays, frequent derailments, sudden needs of costly repairs. This may involve deliberately neglecting track maintenance or even outright sabotage, vandalism, theft, of essential components. As the railways become unreliable, delayed, and unsafe, or not be able to operate in certain areas, businesses are forced to shift their transport contracts to road haulage. Corruptly owned or favored trucking companies suddenly enjoy extra load of goods services, benefiting from increased demand and the revenue at the direct expense of the state railway system and the public's investment in it. The government may even be forced to spend more public money to fix the rail system while simultaneously spending on maintaining roads that are being degraded by extra truck traffic. There are certain provinces that are in that crisis as we speak in South Africa. The political strategy is always acting as if they're in control of the crisis because they create crisis to control. They gain profit via tender, directly transfer public wealth into private hands by ensuring that every crisis leads to non-competitive, high-value contracts for an associate. That's why even in the countries we speak, we've got committees that are busy listening to people that are involved in such things. There's what is called legitimacy via action, by appearing to solve the visible crisis they created. The corrupt system attempts to reinforce its own necessity and legitimacy. It says to the populace, look, things are terrible, but we are the only ones who can bring the stability back. This makes the public dependent on the very same people that they caused their suffering. Ultimately, this turns public governance into a criminal enterprise where the destruction of assets, the deliberate suffering of the populace are merely operational costs in the pursuit of greater personal wealth and political power. It's a vicious cycle that requires sustainable public and institutional oversight to break. We are all affected by political crisis, by political created chaos. As long as you are in a certain country, the crisis that is caused by corrupt politicians and political officials affects us all. Keep winning, succeed, and prosper in life.